There was a rather interesting conversation to be had on Grilling JR this week with Conrad and Jim Ross, where they were talking about the Macho Man Randy Savage. And we've all heard the rumors of why Macho Man was kind of blackballed from the WWE. A lot of people just piss on those rumors altogether, and some people do say that there is a little bit of smoke to that fire, a little bit of fire to that smoke, if you will, baby. But in this conversation here, it kind of perked my ears up. Could there just be a more simpler explanation for why Randy Savage was never brought back to the WWE before he died? A very, very simple explanation, and it's just I didn't want to. Check out this clip.
And there's been lots of rumor and innuendo as to why Randy was never brought back into the fold. It feels like Vince was able to forget and forgive, and or whatever it is with Scott Hall, with Kevin Nash, with the Ultimate Warrior.
That's being a good promoter. You sign guys that you believe are going to make you money, whether you like them or not, whether you're going to have Christmas dinner with them or you're going to exchange gifts or whatever. I'm being facetious. But if they help your company's bottom line, you can forgive and forget a lot of things that happened prior to that. Because still the bottom line for the stockholders and for your partners and for your company is to make a profit and significantly increase that bottom line as regularly as possible. And we all knew that Randy was going to be, he's a star, a great name identity. So, I didn't get along with him, but that don't mean nothing. Don't mean a thing other than we had different philosophies, and he was a little bit of a bully and unpredictable. And maybe that's what made him a star. If it did, more power to him.
Well, Jim, I got to ask, I think a lot of people just automatically, because listen, there's silly, stupid rumors and gossip out there that's not true about why Randy wouldn't have been brought back. And it was a personal issue with Vince and blah, blah, blah. But to hear what you just said, I'm reminded of the fact that, hey, you're running talent relations. And if you weren't necessarily high on him, maybe we don't need to look any further. Or do you think ultimately your feeling and position was, hey, he's not going to wrestle, so what are we going to do with him? Why would we entertain a conversation with Randy?
Well, and he's going to get paid a lot of money. If you're going to get him, he's going to have a nice sticker.
Yeah.
I don't know what the MSRP is going to be on that deal, but it's going to be a lot of money. And he's not going to wrestle. Or we didn't think he was going to wrestle. So I don't know, Connie. I just never clicked with him, but I refused to allow that to interfere with my daily duties in administration, because you don't have to be an idiot. You'd be an idiot not to see the star power. He's Randy Savage, for God's sake.
Of course, yeah.
So I wasn't going to go against my team, and because I didn't personally get along with him. He was Vince's guy. He was always very close to Vince. And that was good enough for me. I handed him off. I don't need to be involved.
I tend to believe Jim Ross here. I don't think Jim Ross, as grumpy and curmudgeon-y as he is, I don't think he's one to just hold a grudge to the point where it's going to affect business, right? If the Macho Man Randy Savage coming into the WWE was good for business at any point in time when JR was the head of talent relations, that call would have been made. Now, there's also a fine window here. We can look at it a couple ways. One, was Macho Man's contract ever up for negotiation while he was in WCW? If so, that would have been under the overseeing of Jim Ross. If there would have been any kind of incident, and Hulk Hogan did this, but I don't recall hearing if Mach did or did not, where Mach's contract would have came up during his WCW run, where he would have had a negotiation to see if there was any interest on the WWE side. And at that point, he would have ran into Jim Ross to negotiate with, where Jim Ross probably wouldn't have had any interest in him. Now, if it came directly from Vince to hire him, then JR obviously would have. And, like I said, I tend to think that JR would have hired him anyway if it was a good business move. But maybe it wasn't. For one, we don't know if Mach's contract ever even became available during his WCW run. He might have been signed the whole time or just re-signed right away without even negotiating with the WWE. I don't know that it's the case. I'm sure Meltzer has it in the Observer somewhere along the way. But in that case, what would be the benefits of bringing in Mach? Star power, sure, but he's old when you're trying to push this newer, younger Attitude Era generation. And he would have been very limited in the ring at that point. And, he was kind of an egomaniac as well. The other time where Mach would have been available would have been when WCW went out of business. And Jim Ross could have had a look at him then as well, but I think Mach would have fell under that category of Hogan and Nash and everybody else that was sitting home on a Ted Turner contract, a Turner Network contract, and not a WCW contract, where they were sitting home getting fat paid to do absolutely nothing. And they were not going to get that fat paid to go to the WWE, nor, does it sound like there would have been any interest in Mach at that time. But that would have been the second opportunity, if Mach was interested, that he would have dealt with JR. After that, it would have gone through Johnny Ace, and JR would not have been involved with the negotiation anymore. Johnny Ace took over shortly after the fall of WCW. I think JR was still helming the hiring books at that time when a lot of those WCW guys were coming in, but I want to say by WrestleMania, that would have been WrestleMania 17 and 18. I would say by Mania 19 or 20, it was definitely Johnny Ace in talent relations at that time. And Macho did a stint in TNA in the early years, but never really came back to wrestling after that, which always kind of fed into those rumors that there was some significant heat, brother, between Macho and the WWE. And it has to go beyond Macho went to WCW, because everybody went to WCW. Jeff Jarrett fucking stood them up for money. Ultimate Warrior stood them up for money. This is not a thing. Mach would have, like Mach saying, look, I would rather wrestle than sit at the commentary table, please. I'm just going to go to WCW. Vince is not going to hold a grudge to just never, ever mention Macho Man again or bring him back again or anything like that. So there was something more to it, and that feeds into the whole Stephanie rumors, though she would have been a little underage at the time, I do believe, or just freshly 18. And who knows, she could have been a starry-eyed little girl who grew up watching Mach and always had a crush on him or something and wanted to get her some of that. I don't know. It's a lot of people deny it, but the rumor exists because it's such a weird circumstance around the Macho Man being such a huge WWE star for such a long time and then just nothing. Never coming back, never being mentioned, no highlight packages, no Legends deals, no Hall of Fame while he was alive, nothing at all. So it leaves that out there for speculation, but it could just be as simple as Jim Ross was in charge of talent relations and he didn't wanna, but who knows?
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.